Hey there, what is up, YouTube? It's No, I'm Coke. It's better. And I hope everyone's ready for Christmas. I'm about ready. But anyway, today I wanted to talk about my favorite Christmas movies when I was a kid. Uh, it's Home Alone 1 and Home Alone 2. Okay, battery's dying on this thing. But anyway, Home Alone 1, Home Alone 2. So this really was. I loved these movies a lot when I was growing up, and in 2006, they came out with the Ultimate Fun edition of Home Alone on DVD. It came out with deleted scenes, um, like fun games and all. And personally, I was excited about it. I loved it and all that. Since then, it's been 15 years, I've been waiting for them to do the same thing with Home Alone 2, which I actually think I like more. I actually enjoy Home Alone 2 a little bit more than the first one, and they haven't, and that's kind of disappointed me. Because I read the novel to Home Alone 2 as well as Home Alone 1, and there's a lot of things that happen in the novel of Home Alone 1 that were in the deleted scenes and all. And so, likewise, the same thing happened with Home Alone 2. There's a lot of there's some different scenes and additional scenes that I wish would have made it into the movie. Well, about a week ago, or 2 weeks ago, I was fortunate enough to find a copy of the script of Home Alone 2, and I'm happy to say that there are scenes in it that it basically follows the novel, and there are scenes that are missing from the movie. So I don't know why they have not released a Ultimate Family Fun Edition to Home Alone 2, but I wish they would. I've been waiting 15 years. And I have the script in my hand right here. I managed to download it on my phone. And I'm going to share some scenes that did not make it into the movie. The first scene that is really interesting is that it's definitely somewhere here. Is that when Kevin gets on the plane and all, and this is actually not. This is a different scene. I really am disappointed. It's not even in the novel and all, and this is in the script. When Kevin gets on the plane and all, he gets on the wrong plane and all. Instead of speaking to a French guy, he actually meets a French college girl student and all, and that is definitely quite interesting and all. And they talk and all, and they make small talk. The college girl is like saying something that her parents are divorced and her dad put her on the plane to New York to see her mother in Portland, Oregon. And Kevin's not like, Kevin thinks she's telling a story and all. And it seems like she is, because she says, like, yeah, they had to make an emergency landing in Denver, Colorado and all. But yet she's talking about going to New York again, and this is all flying over Kevin's head and all. And she's asking her, well, have you ever been to Florida? And she's like, no, and all. And she's like saying, like, Kevin's saying, well, I'm going to Florida, it's not dangerous there. And he's kind of like trying to psych himself up, like, going, oh, it's very nice. She's like asking, well, have you ever been there and all? And Kevin says no, and she's like, going, like, well, you should go sometime, especially in the winter. And this is what's kind of, making Kevin a little confused here, like, what's going on here? He doesn't understand what she's talking about. Aren't they going to Florida? No, they're going to New York. Another scene is, there's an additional scene where when Kevin gets to New York, he gets off the airplane and he's like wondering, well, where are his family? Because the plane's empty and all, and they're, in this movie and all, like, the flight attendants are like, oh no, we're the last ones off, and it's like, oh, well, where are they? This scene is in the novel, actually, and it's in the script too. Kevin goes into the men's room, and he's like trying to find, like Uncle Frank or his dad. Is he in there? And he's checking the stalls, and they're just telling him, get out of here. So that is definitely interesting. Next interesting thing here is that when Peter and Kate, the rest of the family land in Florida and all, and they realize Kevin's not with them. There's a little bit of additional scenes and all. It's like they speak to, I guess, like airport security, and then the security lady takes them somewhere else, and then she questions them, and then eventually she like says, okay, this guy's going to take over now, the guy that we actually see in the movie, the cop and all. So that's kind of interesting. The next scene here that's interesting is in the script and all, they actually try to contact the Chicago airport and all, and it's in the script here where they announce over the PA system that they're like saying, Kevin McAllister, please come to the representative desk or whatever, and of course, he's nowhere in the Chicago airport. So that's like another thing. It's really interesting. This is here's like another interesting scene here. I can't really find it, but right before Kevin goes to the payphone to use the talk boy to pretend he's his dad, slow the talk boy down, he notices the phones are a little bit high, and he like says to someone, like I guess a Samaritan and all, like yelling, they make bathroom toilets, for kids, they lower them for the kids and all. They should do the same thing with the payphones. He says something along that line in the script. There's another scene here that takes place after Kevin does his cannonballs in the swimming pool. After he finishes that, he goes into a sauna and all, and some two business guys come in. This is really interesting here. Two business guys come in, and they start talking a little, talking about how attractive this lady is, like where they work and all, and I guess they start getting a little explicit, and Kevin's like saying, like, excuse me, but if you're going to use dirty language, I'm going to have to leave. And the business guys look at him and say, oh, I'm sorry, we didn't know you were in here. So they go back to conversing. Kevin forgives them. It's pretty steamy in the sauna and all, but the steam starts to lift, and then Kevin like catches a glimpse of them, and something ponders him. He's like going like, are you two naked? And the guys just like look back at him, smile, and said, sure. He like just tears out of there. It's just definitely something that's really funny. The next interesting scene is that it's either Peter or Kate. They try to call the house and all, and they show the empty house, the phone's ringing, but no one's there, and then the other says to the other, like, I tried the house, he might have come home, he's not there. And they're just like worried for Kevin. Here's like another interesting scene here. It's like a short conversation with Jeff and Buzz, and Jeff catches Buzz like kind of looking out the window, but his back is turned. Jeff thinks he's crying and all, but he's not and all, and he's just like going like, Buzz, and Buzz like going, what? You're pretty upset, very, but it's unconvincing and all. And Jeff's like going like, well, he's a tough guy, he'll make it wherever he is. And Jeff then turns out the light and all, and then the camera is on Buzz, but he's like, why he's looking out the window, and he's like looking out across and all, and there's, I guess, another window, I guess, across from the balcony or the courtyard and all, and there's this lady changing in her room, and she neglected to put the shade down. Now that Jeff turned off the light and all, Buzz can see the lady undress more clearly, so that's something else that didn't make it into the film. There's like another additional scene when Harry and Marv are in the Duncan's toy chest scouting it out, planning what to do. Marv finds like a toy gorilla glove, and he's like showing to Harry, like, well, look, I can use this to pick pockets and all. And Harry's like, he's not buying it. And Marv says, well, I'm going to try to pick my pocket now. He tries to, but instead the gorilla hand goes crazy, and it pinches this lady's bottom and all. And it happens to be the lady that Kevin pinches later on, and the one that Marv got his sticky hand on her purse and all. And like Marv is like going, "Oh, what a coincidence!" And she just like punches him and all. And then Harry like goes up to Marv and says, "I got a question to ask you. Did you have to go to a special school to become this stupid?" The next major scene that there's like a slight scene when Kevin leaves Duncan's toy chest and all. He waits for his limousine and all, and the limousine starts to come up, but I think he also sees Harry and Marv, and so he starts to run and all, and then the limousine driver sees him, and he's like shouting to him, "I'm here," and all. It's kind of confusing because the script looks like it wasn't complete or whatever, but that's just slightly different. I'm trying to see what the next major thing is here. It's like, I think 2 left and all. Okay, when Kevin meets the pigeon lady and all, they actually don't go to the concert area and all. They just have a conversation, I guess, in some like tunnel. They just walk through the park and all. It's pretty much the same conversation follows, but they never go to the concert or whatever. Now here's what's really interesting in the script and all. When they find out Kevin is in New York and all, Peter and Kate catch the first flight, and then the others follow and all. That's kind of interesting. Okay, I did forget something that is pretty important. If you play the Home Alone 2 video game and all, you get like weapons like dart guns and flying fist guns and all. And in the script and all, he's purchasing those toys and all, which I kind of thought was very interesting. This is the Home Alone 2 Game Boy version. That's the first thing that matches up. There's a second thing. Try to see here where I'm almost at the end here of this video. I hope this video fits, otherwise I'm gonna have to split it. Okay, so one major thing is the traps and all. After Marv gets paint dumped on him in the movie and all, he gets the sink that's hooked up to electrical current. That's not in the script. Instead, he finds a giant piece of cloth and all, and he wipes his face off with that, but unfortunately Kevin put glue on the cloth, so he pulls the cloth off. He like rips off all its facial hair. That was in the novel, and that's in the script too, so that's kind of interesting. So let's see what's next here. Alright, so yeah, that's kind of interesting, because later, like in the first film, when they get him in the park and all, at the end of the first film, if you remember, when they get him and all, they discuss what they're going to do with him and all. That happens in the second film. They're like going like, you know, Harry's like going, "Should we burn his head with a blowtorch?" And Marv says, "Let's just rip his hair off," which kind of goes back to the cheesecloth with glue on it and all. And then they say like, "Well, maybe you should throw him down a basement," and then they say, "No, bomb him with a sewer pipe." So that's in the script and the novel. Eventually, in the script and all, Uncle Frank and his family arrive, and Frank's like complaining to the concierge that it's like $190 a night per person. You know, he can't afford that. You know, we know he's a cheapskate. Oh yeah, okay, this is really important. I shouldn't skip this. Okay, after you know, the pigeon lady rescues Kevin and all, and then Kevin sends out the fireworks, and this is something that I'm kind of like, I'm like actually shocked it didn't make it to the film, or I'm actually shocked why they haven't released this yet. But in the script and all, one of the cops recognizes the pigeon lady and addresses her as Annie. So apparently one of the cops and the pigeon lady, you know, because she was talking about, like, you know, why he was with a man and all, and something went wrong. Apparently this is hinting on that this is, I guess, the guy that left her, or she left the guy, and all that. And so the pigeon lady definitely has a name, and they make small conversation. He invites her for a drink or whatever. She says she doesn't drink, and he goes, "Well, what about eggnog?" And, you know, she's like, thinking about it, and the cop's like asking, "Well, can you sing?" She says, "No, I don't sing." and then she tries it anyway. Then there's a scene where Kevin, it's slightly longer. Kevin goes to the Christmas tree and wants his mom back just so he can apologize and all. And not only does his mom show up, his dad does too. And this is something else that sort of appears in the video game and all, where he meets up with his dad as well, and he asks him, "You got something against spending Christmas with your family sport?" That, he says in the video game, the Game Boy version and all, which is... So apparently the video game sort of followed the script, which is very interesting and all. But there's like the major, basically the major differences. The only thing is the script, the movie kind of seems to end right after they start opening up presents. Which is, yeah, Kevin never gets the, turtle doves and all. He never gets the turtle doves from Duncan's toy chest. Instead, he doesn't even speak to Duncan, or a guy doesn't even check him out. It's like a lady cashier that checks him out. So he never is directed to the Christmas tree where he gets the turtle doves, which he gives to the pigeon lady at the end. So that's not in there. I believe, though, Kevin does make the $20 donation. That is in there, but... So that's kind of interesting. That is kind of... So I don't know, but I really enjoy the script a lot better than the actual film. I mean, I really am just... I don't know why... I mean, seriously. I mean, it's been 15 years since I've been waiting for them to release an Ultimate Fun edition of Home Alone 2, but I guess they haven't done it. But, anyway, if you want to check the script out, I can post a link in the description, and thank you so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed this, and like, comment, subscribe, stay safe, and do all those things you do with the internet and YouTube.